Seatbelts. How many of you can honestly say that you get into the vehicle thinking to buckle up first? Not everyone. So I used to be one of those people also who think that buckling up was not that important, and why should it even be a law? But until I had 2 children, I realized the importance it was for not just myself, but also for my 2 children. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, updated on October 7, 2014, motor vehicle crashes was the #1 leading cause to death in ages 1 to 54 here in the U.S. My major goal here today is to inform you and to try to persuade you to buckle up every time you get into the vehicle, no matter the distance. I want to talk to you about the problems you have whenever you decide not to buckle up, the effects you have on not just yourself but others around you, and the solution to the problem. There are many problems that occur when you choose not to buckle up. One of those problems, of course, is accidents and injury. Injuries can include paralyzation, vegetable states, or just, minor injuries. But 2.2 million people were treated in emergency rooms last year for not wearing a seatbelt in a car crash. Of course, the second problem could be death. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention says that 50% of people passed away last year due to not wearing seatbelts in car accidents. So now that you know some of the problems, let's get down to some of the effects you have. I thought when growing up it was silly to wear seatbelts. I thought that it should be your choice to wear a seatbelt because if it was my time to go, it's my time to go, whether I'm wearing a seatbelt or not. Also, if I get hurt, paralyzed, seriously injured, I have to deal with that. Nobody else has to deal with that. When in all honesty, friends and family, you're affecting if you get into a car accident from you not wearing a seatbelt. So if you end up passing away, your friends and family have to deal with emotional problems, or even if you're injured, they have to deal with emotional problems and also your medical expenses. Somebody has to be there to take care of you. Also, you may not think about it, but you're also affecting first responders, firemen, policemen, EMTs, and you're also even affecting the coroners that have to come and pronounce your death. I'm married to a fireman and also have other firemen and even a coroner in my family, and they can tell you from years ago the mental images they still have from car accidents from people not wearing their seatbelts. So don't just think about yourself when you get into the vehicle, think about your family and friends and other people. So now that we've talked about some of the problems and some of the effects that you have not only on yourself but others, we're going to get to some of the solutions that we have. Of course, you have fines if you're not wearing a seatbelt, and those fines can be from $10 up to $120. And actually, which I didn't know until doing some research, is that only 32 states here are primary seatbelt state laws, which means you can be just pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt. That means 17 states you have to be pulled over for other reasons, such as a headlight out, to get a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. So what we need to do is, I think, raise the fines for not wearing a seatbelt, and also let's try to make all states primary seatbelt law states. Also, if you're a parent, caregiver, older brother, sister, uncle, or aunt, make sure that you're modeling to your children how to buckle themselves up correctly. No matter their age, height, weight, they need to be in a proper restraining seat, whether it's a car seat, a booster seat, or even just in a regular seat belt. You need to make sure that you are modeling correctly. You don't want your kids growing up thinking, why does mommy and daddy not have to wear a seatbelt, but I do? Also, you want them not to grow up thinking, yay, when I get to becoming an adult, I don't have to wear a seatbelt anymore. So let's just make sure that we are teaching our children how we want them to act when they get older. So we've talked about the problems, the solutions, and also the effects that you have when you decide not to buckle up. So I hope my goal was here to try to persuade you to buckle up every time you get into the vehicle, and I hope that has maybe put in your mind some things that you need to do. So seatbelts. How many of you honestly think that now, after this speech, that you are going to think twice before not buckling up before you get into the car.